Good day. Good day, dear friend. I want to talk about a couple of things, first and foremost. Number one, of course, it's like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know that. You know how that works. I have been fascinated by many, many things in my life, and one of them is film and directing. And recently, I found myself going back to, and by the way, watch what happens right now. This is very interesting. I'm going to say something, and it happens. It's very interesting to watch when you watch. If you watch this later, live stream, I'm going to say something which has nothing to do with the topic, but it will inspire comment because, oh, that's easy. I got that one. And it's emblematic of what I'm talking about. I'm going to say something which has nothing to do with the subject matter, but it's something that's so easy. Okay, watch this. Recently, I've been fascinated and watching again the movie The Exorcist, specifically William Friedkin's explanation of how he shot it. By the way, this was on the soundstage, was here in Hell's Kitchen 50 years ago. 50 years ago. And to make a long story short, it is still a great movie, but in order to understand how it works, in order to grasp the notion of it, you have to sometimes look back and see what was done and why it was done. Why this camera angle? Why this take? Why was it from this point of view? What was the goal? Now, what people will do, they'll say, Exorcist. I saw that. That was scary. That was a scary movie. Do you believe in the devil? I believe in the devil. I think the devil has horns. Do you believe in exorcism? I don't know. Maybe. That was a scary movie. Not as scary as Jaws. Jaws. I love Jaws. Look, a squirrel. That kind of thing. That's the way people are. It's very, 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 it's not the low-hanging fruit. I keep using that expression. It's not that. It's the idea of I'm going to go for something that's easy to grasp. Easy. And these are the things which are a part of who we are. That's why Fox News does what it does. That's why, and I just did a brand new piece. It's called, how do I say this? I did this brand new, what am I calling it? What am I trying to say? I did a brand new piece on my, how do I say this? On my private channel called Tucker Blew It. And that's kind of what this is. And people will miss it because they won't listen to what I'm saying. And they'll look at something else, or they'll talk about Tucker or something and say, no, this is not the issue. The issue is not Tucker. The issue is something bigger. The issue is where we're going with this. And people will just love little things. Very simple. They'll grab something. It's like going to a buffet, and instead of realizing, the good stuff's down here, right? Yeah. Oh, but look, brownies. No, not yet. No. That's not where we didn't pay for. Anyway, that's where we are right now. So Tucker Carlson came on last night, and by the way, one of the funniest. Listen to what CNN said. Listen to how biased these people are. You cannot believe this. I saw this. CNN, you ready for this? CNN business headline. Ready for this? Tucker Carlson launches first episode of low-budget Twitter show after Fox News firing. Oliver Darcy wrote this. I don't know who did the headlines. Break this down again. Tucker Carlson launches first episode of low-budget Twitter show. This is from CNN, by the way. Talk about low budget. After Fox News firing. From CNN, who had Don Lemon, Fredo Cuomo, whose Chris Licht is about to be bounced in what appears to be the open sacrifice of this guy, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. This is the part that this is the part that I don't grasp. I don't understand why people don't get it. In any event. So what Tucker could have done, what anybody could have done, is realize, just like William Friedkin did and others, they could have realized, what is it that we're trying to do? What should I do? What is my goal? What is my goal here? What am I trying to do? What is the end result? What is it? That's the part which is the most interesting. What am I trying to do? Am I trying to just say, hey, I'm here? Or do I say, this is the new me? Or whatever. I don't know. But it was a waste of time. And I want to explain this to you because it goes to show you so much about what's happening with the Republican Party, its own. And by the way, this is why I'm not a Republican. They are the worst. They don't get it. Republicans believe that they are better, more moral, more American, more... And this is an old trope. That they're better, wiser, more, saner, if you will. They're not more saner, but saner than Democrats. Democrats think they're smarter, hipper, cooler, more, rational, whatever you want to call it. Now, first, let me explain to you something, and this is important for style. When you're trying to do a closing argument, I want you, the juror, let's assume I'm defending you, all right? I'm defending you. I want the juror to say, there's a reasonable doubt. Criminal law. Reasonable doubt, not guilty. I want to make I want you to have one reasonable doubt. Just one. One. That's it. Not guilty. One reasonable doubt, a doubt which you can attach a reason to in a very important chain of evidence, and you can say, that's it. I'm finding you not guilty. Good. And I go in for the kill. And I don't do this. Decisions are a difficult aspect of life because we don't want to be wrong. And the bigger the decision, the more we hesitate, the more we... Now I'm wasting my time. That's Tucker. You go in like this. They made a mistake because they never proved to you the intent to commit an offense inside the building. That is burglary. Here it is. Here's the instruction. Right there. With the intent. All they proved was that he walked into that supply shed, and that was it. They didn't... was he going there to get out of the sun? Was he going there to look around? That was important, and they didn't prove it, and he's not guilty. He's not guilty. He's not guilty because they made a mistake. They screwed up. They didn't have the evidence. He's not guilty. Not decisions in life are one of the pitfalls. And if you're prosecuting a case, you're going to find this man guilty because he stabbed and robbed and blah, blah, and that's it. And there's no doubt. And if you find him not guilty, that means you're making something up. That means this man is free because you... Well, that's careful there. That's a little golden rule right there. But anyway, do you see what I'm saying? See how I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. So Tucker starts off with this thing because I don't understand this. And just listen to me, because the GOP does this too. He has this thing. Here's my very well produced in his barn or whatever it is. He's got his outfit on. He's very well done. And he starts off with his 10-minute, and he's rambling about decision and life and this and the thing. And that they're lying because Putin probably didn't blow up his own, probably didn't blow up the Nord Stream, and this is not what it is. And that's, I don't know if he thinks he's just cool, if he thinks he's just smart, if he thinks he has to speak in these uniquely prosaic, poetic things of I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Because he thinks he's smarter than you. He still got. I still see the bow-tied guy who went to the boarding school, and I'm smart, and I'm in Maine, and I'm better than the rest of these jadrules. But here's the bottom line: they canned you. There's another word for that. They canned you from your position on the #1 cable news platform in the world. Well, at least in this country, when it comes to news, and there's nothing like this. And this is your chance to come out. And you could have done one of two things. You could have come out like gangbusters. You could have talked about everything that would have driven these people crazy. What drives them crazy? Conspiracy theories. I would have hit them with MK Ultra, DARPA, Building 7, Bilderberg, HARP, oh my God, Rex 84, every operation from Mongoose, Ajax, Paperclip, everything. I would have had them running to their Wikipedias saying, what is he talking about? You know what Bobby Kennedy does? Let me tell you what he does. He doesn't fool around. He gets right to the bottom. What's the thing people would love to know about JFK that he talks about? What's the thing which people would love? You got one shot. You got one shot. What are you going to do? Here's number one. You tell them something they didn't know. Number two, and this is something, and this drives people crazy. Alex Jones used to do this. I don't even know if he still does. I have no idea, but he used to do this, and it makes the most sense. And people will love to say, how dare you defend him? He's sick, what he did with the parents of his... I'm not defending that. I'm talking about what he did then. People love to get upset. They love to get upset. Hey, don't you understand? This sick guy, you should do... I'm talking about the way he did his show 20 years ago. I know this is difficult to understand, but this is what I would do. Give you an example. Stop right now. This is Bobby Kennedy. Hey, America, here's a fact you don't know about the assassination. Did you hear how they switched out the windshield? That's right. Right after the crime of the century, they took the most important piece of evidence, the windshield, which had maybe a bullet wound in there, a bullet hole, and they got rid of it. And they switched it right after. Did you ever hear about that? They also cleaned up the car after. Did you ever hear about that? And then right behind you, rather than foggy pictures of your, cedar planks, I would have had some big blown up story, not from some dicey, website, but something that shows, yeah, here's the information. People say, what? Wait a minute, what? They want to what? They did what? I didn't know that. Yeah, you don't know a lot of things. Right behind them. And then have those CNN people go crazy the next day. What are you going to do? Because you know what? They're going to say conspiracy, 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 conspiracy. Just like the right uses woke, 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 woke. Matt Walsh, Matt Walsh, Matt Walsh. And a man can't get pregnant. Do you think so? I don't know. This is, the right has woke, the left has conspiracy theory. There you go. Little side issue, because I know you love this. 9/11 we talk about like we do American history. People confuse the Declaration of Independence with the Constitution. They said all men are created equal. That's the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, that's not the Constitution. Is there a difference? Yeah, a little bit. Years ago, and I'm only going to go so far here because I talk about this on my private channel. There was a group, supposedly, well, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that. No. I'm going to save it for that. Because I'm not going to waste my time. 9/11, nobody wants to hear this. Believe me, I know this. Only a select group of people say, tell me about that. No. You know what, if you do, that's my that's my whatever. But Tucker could have come out and said, you know what? I'm going to hit him with something so hard. I'm going to hit him with something so hard. Because he thought he was back at his set where he could bring out that witless Jason Whitlock with the interminably boring Candace Owens, Portnoy, Adam Carolla, whatever. They're fine people. But that was like, that's padding. I got 5 shows a week. Bring them on again. Let's go back and, whatever. You have time. You don't have time now. You got to go in for the kill. And because you've been gone so long, believe it or not, and this is one thing he will never know. This is one thing Tucker cannot imagine. Do you know there are people who've never heard of him? How many people believe right now that they've never heard of Tucker Carlson? How many people? Jon Stewart found that out. Bill O'Reilly found that out. What you got to always understand, you never, ever, ever, ever think that people know who you are. Do you know how many people never heard a Howard Stern show? Me. Never heard one. I heard YouTube stuff. Best of, somebody goes on and says something. I never heard. I knew who he was. So you never ever think that people know who you are. Never. Never. Sometimes it works in reverse. I can't believe how long it was that the Sopranos, I still think the Sopranos is on. Because I watch it like it's new. Like it's new. It's timeless. So he had the chance to come out and say something very, very simple. You see, you can blow people's mind. I can give you 5 things, 5, 6, depending on the subject, where people will say, what? But you got to back it up. You just can't say it. I'll show you. Here it is. That's always been my show. My show is this. I love this. This is my TV show. Of course, nobody would ever do it. Oh my God. You would have a, and the reason why 9/11 is so good is that there's so many moving parts. 9/11 is about 30, 40, 50 different events in one day. There's the treatment of the first responders. There were North Tower, South Tower, Building 7, Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So that's, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon. So that's 5 right there. So 5 different structures. Plus 5 different, I don't know how many different separate stories, plus the number of drills and war games that were going on that day. That blows people's mind. They have no idea. Then there was the safety of the first responders. Christy Todd Whitman, go down there. Everything's fine. Then there's that. Then there's, there's so much to it. So when you say 9/11, it's like, it's a symphony of facts. It's not anything. I could do a show that would blow people's minds if I said, here's live as it occurred. Before anybody knew what was happening, here's live. This is what people were saying, live, on the air, as it occurred, before people didn't realize, don't play that. And you would have the time. This would be my show. Black set, dark, no nothing, just me in a chair with these huge monitors. Let's watch this. This was this day, 10 o'clock in the morning, FDNY, boom, 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 Channel 5, Channel 4. This is what you heard. Wow. You should have heard actual coverage of JFK's assassination. The most important information is what happens at the moment it's happening, before people realize, what is this? Before you're told, don't show that. That guy, no. But he's the suspect. No. Oh, him? Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry. Because there's no memo ahead of time. All right. Make sure all your video is from grassy knoll up. No overpass, no triple overpass. This is Dallas. Over from behind. Don't show that. Not only that, the experts. Doesn't matter the story. It doesn't matter. I could do one show called "The Following is Declassified by the CIA, by the government." Let me read this to you. This is declassified. I'm not making this up. This was going on. So the point is, what I'm trying to tell you is that you probably know this. Tucker could have done so much to tell people, this is what, this is the reality of what's happening. 10 minutes that would have blown people's minds so that the next time you hear it, you say, I got to see one of these. What's he going to say now? You've got nothing to lose, right? I trust this doesn't violate any non-compete. I don't know what the status is, but they make him sound like, oh, he's got this top lawyer. And I say, well, okay, good. He's entitled to. I don't know if I don't think they canned him for cause. He's entitled to his money, but he still works for them. So I don't know what the big deal is. But. That was it last night. Boring. Nord Stream. People don't know what that is. Who's Nord Stream? What does that mean? You're doing that again? And why would Putin blow up his own thing? You're talking to children here. Which leads me to my second point. Here's the second. Chapter 2. The GOP is led by a group of people who have no idea what America thinks. They don't know how to run an election. They have no clue. They're saying, you don't understand. I'm the GOP. My name is, he's a great guy, but Matt Walsh, right? Okay. I'm going to show you for the umpteenth time another gender whatever story. For the umpteenth time, I'm going to show you this again and again and again and again and again. And I'm going to say woke, 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 woke. And I'm going to talk about Target and Budweiser and Dylan Mulvaney and Disney. Oh, that's if DeSantis kills himself, it's going to be this Disney fixation, which people are just tired of. It doesn't grab you. Okay, fine. Too much to explain. Target. What's the idea about Target? We're going to boycott Target. Okay. Because Target has clothing, which is inappropriate for children. Okay. I'm going to vote for you because of why again? They said, what does Target have to me voting Republican? Well, nothing. But it gets me on Fox, or it gets me on Newsmax, or it gets me on these things. Okay. So that's, woke. You say woke a lot. Yeah, we say woke a whole lot. What are you doing right now to address the untapped young demographic who cares about climate change, transphobia, LGBT? Do you know how many kids today associate with being LGBT or Q or whatever, or Two-Spirit? Do you have any idea? No. Because you think it's stupid. Because you think, if I think it's stupid, I just dismiss it. Wrong. I'm not going to address the issue of affirmative action with black voters. Why? Because I think it's stupid. I think affirmative action is wrong. Wrong. So you're going to go into the black community and you're going to dismiss affirmative action? Is that what you're going to do? Yeah, because Thomas Sowell, wrong. Walter Williams, wrong. Well, you don't get it, do you? You're trying to lure black voters to the Republican cause, and you're basically telling them that the affirmative action, what? You're telling young people that their climate change concerns are stupid? You're going to make fun of people who are concerned over another pandemic? You're just going to make fun of them because of their I know, all of a sudden, I got to tell you this one. This is my favorite. All of a sudden, everybody's a vaccine expert. Everybody! People named Moondog walking around covered in tattoos, all of a sudden are talking about mRNA like they know what they're talking about. Oh, they're experts. They know everything. And their thing is, I told you so. And they're just like, who are you? I'm an expert. The same experts that were blood splatter experts after O.J. Simpson. The same people who are constitutional experts, American history experts. Everybody's an expert. Everybody knows everything. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What? Tell me. What are you going to do? How are you going to lure these people? Well, I'm not going to lure anybody. Why? Because I'm right. And because I'm right, I don't care if anybody votes for me. That's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to lose again. Because you keep playing to this mystery, this mysterious, mystical, magical, mythical Fox News crowd, and you just love to be right. You're into this tribute band from the 80s, like you're a Ronald Reagan tribute band. I don't understand this. And this is to the GOP. What is the matter with you? What is the matter with you? You're losing me. You've lost me. You lost me in 2020 when I told you Trump was going to lose because he wasn't paying attention then. He wasn't paying attention then. And he's really not paying attention. He's not anywhere near this. He said, we're 35 points ahead. You're not going to be. You're not going to be. One more time. I saved this. Here we go. I saved this for you right here. Listen to this. In 1975, right around this time, Hubert Humphrey for the nomination was at 30 points. George Wallace, this is for the Democrats. George Wallace, 20 points. George Wallace, yeah, not the comedian, 20 points. Jimmy Carter, less than 5. If Hubert Humphrey were Trump, he'd say, I got it. I got it. In 2008, Hillary was at 48. Obama, 21. She more than doubled him. If Hillary Clinton were Trump, she'd say, I got it. Maybe she did. Maybe that's why she lost. 2007, Rudy. Remember Rudy? Bless Rudy. Bless the memory and the spirit of Rudy. After all he did. He was at 24%. John McCain, 17. All right. But he was leading. And these Republican friends of mine who have this fetish about Trump, they just say, oh, he's got it. You see, that craziness is what got him elected in 2016. No, that's not it exactly. Oh, and here's my favorite. People love the fact that he gets indicted. The more he gets indicted, if he has to wear an ankle bracelet, his popularity will soar. If I hear that lunacy one more time, I'm going to scream. I don't even know what that means. I'm hearing this. People actually believe this trope, this meme, this lunacy that says Americans love the fact, voters, they look at Trump as being the victim of this incredible, this horrible unfairness, and that he will forever be loved and elevated through this apotheosis, through this. It's lunacy. It's lunacy. No, it's not. That little Alvin Bragg thing was nothing. This is serious. This Jack Smith is serious. And I don't know how to tell you this. I don't know what's going on. And then the other day, Trump is putting out these ridiculous screeds in capital letters on Truth Social, misspellings, still missing the point about the obstruction of justice charge. So let me just tell you something. Let me be as clear. Whether it's Tucker, whether it's the GOP, whether it's anything involving conservative, they don't know what they're doing. The person who's making, with the exception of, let me just tell you this much, Bobby Kennedy is hitting on all cylinders. Here's what he's got to realize. You can't go on every show. You go on some shows with cretins who say stupid things. And what they're going to do is they're going to go through and pour through every show you've ever been on, and some comedian or some guy or some gal has said something which is vile, disgusting, vicious, racist, and you're going to be associated with it. Because you're into this, I'm Bobby Kennedy and I'm cool kind of thing. They're going to get you on this. Count Trust me when I tell you this. Trust me. I don't know what I guess you just want to go, well, he's got 1 million votes. Yeah, 1 million followers. That's okay. So you're going to learn that. Or maybe he figures, it doesn't matter. I'm just, whatever. He's so spot on, it's not even funny. The stuff he's saying, I can't even. He's talking about biolabs. I mean, they're talking about anything, nothing. And if ever you want to see the hack's hack, the very fact that you can get in Nikki Haley is cartoonish in terms of what a hack she is. Ron DeSantis is playing to the crowd. Playing to the crowd. If how do I say this? Sometimes, I'm trying to give the analogy. Sometimes there's a group that has the insiders, and then there's a regular group. If you're a country music band at a bar, you better know Rocky Top and Freebird. If you go for, Blood on the Saddle, some Tex Ritter thing, that ain't going to hunt. I mean, that dog don't hunt. That's not going to work. Even though that is prototypically classic, conservative, whatever. I mean, conservative, country music. So these folks, I don't know what it is. They play. Nikki Haley is, and the best is Vivek Ramaswamy. You know what he said? He wants to go back regarding, listen to this. This is my favorite. Nobody jumped on him. He wants to go back to a Korean War armistice style end to the Russian-Ukrainian war. He wants to grant concessions to Russia, provided they break and discontinue any connections they have with China. Yeah, right. And Ukraine and Zelensky, eat it. You're on your own. Now, here's the best part. Trump says, I'm going to take care of this in 24 hours. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's going to be a failed rump state. From the beginning, they never understood. Oh, who was it? They also got mad over the fact that Ron DeSantis said it was a border dispute. It is a border dispute. It's on the border. That's the whole thing. He's absolutely correct. But people somehow thought that was relegating it to some kind of trifle. Trump doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Ramaswamy doesn't know what he's talking about. And the media, how about this? Listen, you can do whatever you want. We walked away from Afghanistan. We said, that's it, we're gone. In 1983, when the Marine barracks were blown up in Lebanon, you know what Reagan did? We're out of here. The hell with it. See ya. Cut and run. Damn right we're going to cut and run. We are out of here. See ya. See ya. Ukraine is going to end up being just kind of like a neutral. It's going to be like a Finland. It can't be a part of NATO. That's the best part. This is, Ramaswamy said, well, that's one of the... So anyway, Ukraine says, wait a minute, excuse me, what about us? Well, we'll give you support. Excuse me, that's Western support. That's Western support. You're back into the same... This is what Russia is... What do you mean support? No, they don't know what they're talking about. Nothing. And Victoria Nuland says, I don't care. It's incoherent. Sparky says Chris Wray helps control and is a big part of the old boy network in Georgia, uniparty Republican and globalist politics. Yeah. Thank you, Sparky, by the way. Chris Wray, nothing's going to happen to Chris Wray because Chris Wray is going to say, look, you can't subpoena. This is methods and operations and blah, blah, blah. And you're not going to find this out. So leave me alone and don't worry about this. And by the way, the Georgia case appears to be, nobody knows what it is. Why are you waiting until between July and Labor Day to get to the, I don't know. And by the way, uniparty, how many people think that's a new party? Have you used the term uniparty? You know, and you probably, not you, Sparky. And thank you, by the way, Sparky. You know, you probably noticed I used the word uniparty. Yeah, it's a term I came up with. No, Wendell Willkie was talking about this in the 40s. I mean, this is an old, the left-right paradigm, the whole bit. Carol Quigley. This is old. The idea that, hey, I don't think there's a big difference between, yes, because it was an illusion. You want people to think, see, we have two parties. We have a system here. Vote. See, well, and then we get it for 4 years, and you get it for 4 years, and maybe 8 years, and we get it back again. Either way, we're happy. We're happy. We are there. And by the way, the permanent class is not necessarily people who are working in the administration. Ford Frey, thank you, sir. That's for you. Hand crepitation to you, Ford Frey. Thank you. Ford retracted his message. Thought better. Thought about it. Ford, I want to hear from you. Thank you for that. Sparky says, U.S. pays 100% of Ukrainian salaries and pensions. Stop the money, stop the war. Yeah, well, that's true. The question we have, and by the way, Sparky, again, thank you. Very simply this. It is none of our business. It's none of our business. Did you ever read George Kennan? George Kennan. Let me show you this. This is what everybody has to read. George Kennan, Mr. X. This is the one that... the X article. George Kennan. Mr. X article on Soviet Union appears in Foreign Affairs. This was a big deal. State Department official George Kennan used the pseudonym Mr. X. By the way, pseudonyms are important. Federalist Papers. Remember Publius? No, but I almost went somewhere and I stopped. Even I know. Don't ever say that. State Department official George Kennan, using the pseudonym Mr. X, publishes an article entitled The Sources of Soviet Conduct in the July edition of Foreign Affairs. This is 1947. The article focused on Kennan's call for a policy of containment toward the Soviet Union and established the foundation for much of America's Cold War policy. This is also which is important, was after wait. By the 1960s, with the United States hopelessly mired in the Vietnam War, Kennan began to question some of his own basic assumptions in the Mr. X article and became a vocal critic of U.S. involvement in Vietnam. In particular, he criticized U.S. policymakers in the 50s and 60s for putting too much emphasis on the military containment in the Soviet Union. That's what we're doing now. If he were here, if Kennan was the bad, he was the author of Soviet containment. This was the guy. If he were here, he couldn't believe what we were doing. He wouldn't believe it. Nobody knows what they're talking about. And by the way, Freud says, did you ever listen to Kim Iverson? If so, what do you think her views? I did not, but I will. Thank you for that. Let me go back to what I was saying, Ford. Very important. What we are having right now is a reiteration, a recapitulation, a restatement, in essence, of everything that we should have learned after the mythology and the dust of Cold War settled. There are people who came in who surrounded our foreign policy world. Did you ever hear of the Institute for the Study of War? You know, your General Jack, whatever his name is, Maria Bartiromo loves him. This is from the Kagans and the Newlands. These are kind of neocons, though the word's used too much. If I, in my opinion, if I was a president, NATO, we don't need NATO. We're done with NATO. Done with it. I don't know what it is. What do we need this for? What do you think? Do you know what? Do you know that Putin asked, I think this is funny, asked, can we be a member of the European Union? No. Well, why not? We're not the Soviet Union. Can we join the NATO? No. We're not the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union is gone. That was about Soviet containment. There is no Soviet Union. How many people do you think understand that the two are different? How many people do you think? How many? How many? Any? Any? No. It's incoherent. And Nikki Haley is the most incoherent of incoherence. Period. So I have no time for them. I have no time. And to be a good Republican, you got to stand there and go, oh, war. Because over here, war is not money, this. It's an old joke. Bobby Kennedy makes more sense than anybody else. I can't believe I'm saying this. Bobby Kennedy said, I said, wow. Is he reading my mind? Did he read my mind? To bring up a little Gordon Lightfoot. What are we, 800 military bases, 70 countries? What is this? What's going on here? This is a new world. This is a new world. Sometimes people don't understand. Do you know how many people are still arguing about whether AM radio should be in new cars? I swear to God, there are people in the radio business who are saying, and we've got to make sure that we have AM radios in cars. This is what they're worried about. AM radios. I'm not kidding. I don't know how to... This is insanity. They're living in another world. They're living in another world. And going back to Bobby Kennedy, when he was talking about the conspiracy connections between the CIA and the assassination of his uncle, never talks about his father. Interesting. But people were just like, what? What? You didn't know this? Is there anybody here? Where has everybody been? Because we live in a world of 12-year-olds. We live in a world of children. We live in a world they've never understood anything. They don't know about history. They don't know reality. And we've got these other people who are even more. These are what you would call the true conspiracy theorists. Let me give you an idea of who these people are. These are people who get turned on almost like a fetish. They went crazy during vaccines. They went nuts. I don't even know how to deal with them anymore. I don't know how to talk to them anymore. I don't know how to address them anymore. I don't even know how to even remotely. Again, they're experts overnight. Overnight. All of these folks, they know everything. And mRNA experts. I'm thinking, you're doing more harm. If I didn't know better, I think you were recruited by the other side because you sound like a nut. You sound like a nut. You should meet the person driving around in a car by themselves wearing a mask because both of you are insane. You don't know what you're talking about and you don't understand just the mechanics of virulence. This is wild. And don't think for a moment that the grand masters of the universe didn't sit back and say, I see how this works. We have been through more beta tests, more trial runs, more dress rehearsals in the past, 10 years for so many things we can't imagine. Guess what happens during a food shortage? Guess what's happening for a food shortage? That's coming. How about water? That's coming. Shall I go on? Grid problems? That's coming. Oh, God, yeah. But we can't handle that. No, you want to have Nikki Haley who's talking. I don't know what she's talking about. Look at this lineup. Look at this, like Chris Christie. You know why Chris Christie, double C's, running? And by the way, double C is not a cup size. Chris Christie, by the way, not to fat shame. He had bariatric surgery or some kind of bypass surgery. You got your money back. Did you know, speaking of weight, I'm sorry to say this. Did you know that Chris Christie, how do I say this? Chris Christie has a higher BMI than William Howard Taft. That's all I'm going to say. All right, dear friends, thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, understand what's happening right now. Please, I am not for, if you are a part of a fan club, don't listen to me. Don't, please, save yourself. If you're into like parochial stuff, if you're into, you just like, I like Tucker. Okay, good. Okay, all right. I like Tucker. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Good for you. Good for you. That is terrific. I think that's wonderful. Good for you. Good for you. I don't particularly care for that. That's not my thing. I don't care one way or the other. I don't care who's popular, who's not. No. And there's nothing worse than a phony baloney conservative who all of a sudden is, again, part of a Reagan tribute band, just using all the right shibboleths, all the right phrases, and the like. Don't forget, my friends, like the video, like it. Now, if you want the other deeper stuff, you can follow my private channel at LionelMedia.com, because believe me, anybody who knows anything knows that there are certain subjects that they're not third rail. They're like landmines or punji sticks or they're booby traps. You will be destroyed if you even that's just the way that is. All right, but land of the free, home of the brave. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tonight, 7 p.m. By the way, I'm going to be tonight on the George Galloway Show, the Moat Show, mother of all talk shows. And then coming up, I think Monday, I get a better day, I'm on with Dr. Drew. So we'll see what happens. Get ready. Let's see if they can handle this, because there's nothing better than getting somebody who says, like, Galloway's the best. Just aces. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. Tonight, 7 p.m., we'll be back. And don't forget these words, this valedictory, this finale, this adios, this sayonara. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.